Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Southeast Region training call. We are so excited to be on with you this lovely, beautiful May 27th, Friday afternoon. Super excited for today's training call. We are extremely blessed to have a wonderful guest to speak to you today. Before we turn the time over and I introduce her, I do just want to give a couple shout outs here, reminders of things we've got going on to the end of this month. Remember, we've got till May 31st to close out the month strong. Anyone who is shooting for that Success Club party at Summit, guys, lock that in. There's still time. If you hit Success Club in May and June, you can come to our big Success Club party at Summit. So if you're going to be at Summit and you want to hang out with lots of cool people, Success Club party. Same thing with our leadership ladder reception. If you are battling for that team leader position, make sure you lock that in this month. That'll be important for you to do as well. Remember that anyone who hits Success Club this month is going to be invited to an awesome webinar with personal development phenom Brian Tracy. So make sure we're focused in. Do your best to close out this month strong. We got lots of cool stuff going on. You are going to want to make sure to go into the summer on fire. As if the temperature heats up, let's heat up your business as well. Make sure that we go into Summit with momentum. Okay. I know a lot of times there's a tendency to be like, you know what, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to coast a bit in June. July will come around, Summit, and then I'm going to really see what's going on, and I'm going to grab the new program, and I'm going to run with it. But just like you guys, if you know a little bit, about body surfing or about how waves work, right? If you're just standing still in the ocean and you try to catch the wave as it comes by, you're going to miss it. It might even topple you over. You might, do a couple somersaults into the sand. Don't let that happen to you, okay? Make sure that your business is in momentum phase, that you are moving forward, that instead of letting the wave hit you standing still, that you are swimming, you are moving forward. You've got momentum going towards you so that as that wave comes, that is sure to come when Summit is here, you are already going and you can catch that wave and take it, for a great ride. Okay. So let's make sure we're locked in and dialed in to finish out May and that we're super focused in June. In June, we're going to start promoting, as we go in through June and into July, we'll start promoting our Team Cup. And so start just putting that on your radar, all right, a strategy for that. It's going to be a great summer, you guys. We're going to do well. And we're super excited to really kick off the summer with a great training call here to create a great foundation for you guys in leadership. Very excited to have Kristina Delgado on our Southeast Region training call today. As you can imagine, she's very busy, has a huge team organization. And so I am grateful as the director of the Southeast Region that she would take time out of her schedule to talk to everyone and do this training call which we are recording and we'll put up on our site and our YouTube channel. So that everyone has it. But Kristina is an amazing person. I think probably one of the things she's most proud of, in addition to being a wife and a mother of two beautiful children, she is the co-founder, along with her sister Becky, of Team Diesel Nation, which is an outstanding team. She's taken it from ground zero to one of the most elite teams in the network. They do a great job of creating culture and community, and she's a co-founder of that and extremely proud of it and should be. Kristina is a 4-time elite coach, which, as you guys know, is no easy feat. It means that not only is she growing the business organically, but every year she's also bringing in new people. She's not sitting on her laurels, always growing the business. Superstar diamond coach. I mean, enough said about that. Having 15 diamonds in your organization speaks for itself. And one of the things that we are extremely grateful for on the corporate side is Kristina in this past year accepted an invitation to be a member of the Team Beachbody Coach Advisory Board. We call it the CAB, Coach Advisory Board. She represents, all of you, represents the network, the coaches in the network, as a liaison between you and the executives of the company, Carl Deichler and John Congdon, Jeff Hill and Michael Neiman, and creates a voice for you and does an excellent job of really advocating on behalf of the coaches and the issues that are important to you guys and helping us solve both little and small problems, little and big problems, I should say. So little ones and small ones. She does both. And she does the big ones. Anyway, you guys, extremely grateful for all that she does and gives back to the network. So with that introduction, Kristina, I am going to turn the time over to you. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Craig. And it's such an honor to be speaking on this call today. This presentation, well, first, thanks for the awesome introduction. It's still mind-blowing to me. All that stuff has happened, and it's such an honor to serve on the Coach Advisory Board. But we have a lot to cover today, so I'm just going to jump right in and give you a little background as to this presentation. If you guys have heard any, national wake-up calls that I've done or spoken at Summit, I'm more of the kind of motivational type speaker. I'm not a very good teacher of the things that I do in my business to seek success or achieve success. But a few months ago, Keishan invited me to be a guest speaker at a local diamond training. And for the first time, I said, you know what? I need to teach. I need to sit, instead of just motivating people to take action, I need to teach them what I've done to get from coach to superstar and all that other stuff in between. I had never really done that. So that's how this presentation was born. I literally sat down and just took an inventory of all the things that I did from when I was beginning as a coach in my business to when I started working the business to now. What is it that I do now in my business? And that is this presentation. I'm going to talk real fast because I tend to do that. I'm Hispanic and I'm just like boom, 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 boom. So if you can't catch everything, don't worry. I actually created and my son is home. So yes, babe. Something against you. Okay, go over there. Sorry guys, I told you this was going to be interesting. Here's DJ. So I have an image where I wrote everything down and I'll share it after the call. So don't go crazy writing notes because I will share that image with all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share and I'm going to start the presentation. All right. So just to give you a little bit of background as to why, can you go over there, please?
No, I didn't do something.
Sorry, guys. He got sick and I have no one else to watch him but me. So he's here. He's going to participate.
This is the first time a kid has ever jumped into a Zoom call in Beachbody.
Yeah.
Kristina.
And of course, it's my kid. I am so sorry. I'm going to do my best.
No one's ever seen this before. You do your thing and no worries at all.
It's why I retired from the practice of law, right? To be able to be here with him. But so why did I call it the 3 layers of leadership? I could have called it a bunch of other things. I could have even used the word level, but I decided to not use the word level because level means that once you get past one level, you move on to the next and then the next and the next. But layers, you need all of them, kind of like baking a cake, right? You need all the layers of a cake in order to have a cake. The same thing goes for leadership in this business. So there's so many, so there's so many, oh God, this is going to be hard. Can you guys give me 1 second? Hold on.
I love it, you guys. This just goes to show we can adapt to anything. One of the layers of leadership is being flexible, being adaptive, and
okay.
We can make it happen. Great job.
Hopefully he will stay over there.
Give him a snack and
I did. I set him up with everything, but you know how it is. So many definitions to leadership, and it's curious because in our business we tend to use the word leadership very loosely, right? When someone goes diamond, we call them a leader. Even when someone goes emerald, I've had situations where I've told an emerald, well, now you're a leader, go lead your team. And people kind of look at you very they're like, what are you talking about? I just wanted to drink a shake, start a little business and work out. And they're confused by what that word leadership is. And I will tell you that not all diamond coaches are leaders. Not all emerald coaches. There's some star diamonds that are not leaders yet. And I said, okay, how can I create something that really gives you a step-by-step, breaks down what is leadership in a Beachbody business? What does that mean? When we say I am a leader in Beachbody or Team Beachbody, what does that mean? So I created kind of my checklist, right? And it starts with these 3 layers. The first layer is leading yourself. This is the most important layer. It is the foundation of your business. Without this, you have no business. If you don't know how to do the things that I've laid out in layer 1, it will be very difficult for you to develop a business. It'll be very difficult for you to develop an organization. In fact, almost impossible to develop an organization. And you won't move on to layer 2 or 3. So those are the 3 layers, right? Layer 1 is leading yourself. Layer 2 is leading your team. Layer 3 is leading the leaders. And I will tell you that we'll probably spend the most time in layer 1. And this is where you guys can grab information to pass on to your team. So when you have someone coming into your business and saying, you know, I want to achieve success, I want to do what you do, you say you have to be in layer 1. And when you can master that, then we can start talking about layers 2 and 3. So the purpose of the presentation is to determine whether your actions are in line with your goals. If you want to be an executive leader on the leader ladder, or an organizational leader, or even a team leader on the leader ladder, but you're not hitting Success Club and you're not recruiting, there's a disconnect, right? There's a disconnect between your actions and your goals. So today is that day. It's that gut check day in your business where we take a look at the activities that I have done in my business to get to where I am, and you can cross-reference those actions to what you do on a daily basis. And if there's gaps, if there's something missing, if you find yourself weak in a certain position, you know today where you have to go to fix it so that you can move your business forward. So let's jump into layer 1, which is leading yourself. Like I said, this is the most important layer of the 3. It is where you need to focus the most in order to develop a business that turns into an organization, that turns into a legacy. And I love this quote, right? It's, you cannot lead others until you have first learned to lead yourself. Like, I could literally stop the presentation right here and go home because that quote summarizes everything about the first layer. So there's a few slides in this one, and these are the activities, guys. Sometimes it's hard to determine, like, what do those leaders do to develop a business? What have they done to develop a business? And we think it's like some magic thing, some secret sauce, some, mystery. It is not a mystery. I'm giving it to you right now. This is what I did. This is what I'll tell you every elite coach, every top 10 coach, all the coaches that have found success in their business, this is what they do. And they focus a lot in layer 1. A coach in layer 1 engages in the 4 vital behaviors daily. I don't need to dig into this too much. You guys know what they are. But when we talk about personal development, that's the one that has to be in the forefront. Many times we find ourselves putting personal development as the least important of the 4 vital behaviors. It is actually the most important. And just the other day, I was talking on a team call, and I said something, and I was like, you know what? That's the message we have to send with personal development. Because there are peaks and valleys in our business. There's good times, there's bad times. When the times are good, that's when you really need to develop your habit of personal development. That's when you really need to dig in. Why? Because when you only do personal development when times are rough, all you're doing is putting a Band-Aid over your problems. You're not putting on a shield. And personal development is your shield. So when times get tough, when it's a hard month, like the month of May is traditionally a difficult month, you have a shield on, your mindset is tough, and you're able to get through it instead of take a step back. So when times are good, dig into personal development so that it becomes a shield for your mind and for your heart in this business, and it doesn't let you give up. You have a strong why. You guys know that's very, very important. That's what wakes you up in the morning and keeps you pushing forward. This next one is the one that I think a lot of new coaches struggle with. And if we, as the leaders of the Southeast and of the network, can get better at teaching this, I think we will produce stronger coaches. In the first layer, you need to learn how to develop your story, and you need to learn how to story tell on all social media platforms. And there's 3 different stories that our coaches need to learn how to tell. The product-based story, the experience-based story, and the financial-based story. Product-based story is I crushed the 21-day fix, I drink Shakeology, and it's changed my life. I lost 12 pounds. I feel better than ever. My energy is through the roof because of this shake. You know, you guys have seen my video. I don't eat vegetables, not a single vegetable, all that stuff. That's my product-based story. That I lost 65 pounds in 6 months when my sister introduced me to Shakeology. I could spit that story out without even thinking about it. It just is second nature. Then you have the experience-based story. And this is the one that really connects to an audience. It's how has Beachbody itself changed your life? The community, the fact that you're part of a team, the fact that you love being part of Diesel Nation or whatever team you're on, and how the connections and the relationships that you have made because of Beachbody have changed your life. Being able to tell that story is the one that's going to relate most to your audience in order to bring business builders into your business. It is not really the financial one because most people will be afraid to embrace any financial goal that they have, but they will be able to connect more with an experience, with something that makes you feel, that opens up your heart, that makes you long for something that Beachbody can provide. So you have to learn how to become a storyteller on your Beachbody experience as a whole. And then financial based, you know, and it starts small, being able to pay your gas, being able to pay your car, being able to do all these things. Being able to share that tactfully on social media is an important skill that we need to learn. And then other skills, communication, social media, Shakeology, learning Shakeology, how to present it, how to combat objections to the price and all that good stuff. That's a skill that someone in the first layer needs to hone. And that you learn how to establish your niche market. If you guys can mute, that would be awesome because I can hear some background noise. Establishes your niche and branding. This is something that does take time to figure out, but a coach that is intending on growing a business has to figure that out so that they can attract like-minded people into their business. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. You achieve Success Club every month, not every 4 months, not every 3 months, not every other month, every month. If you're going to be called a leader, leaders hit Success Club. Leaders don't make excuses about Success Club. They understand why Success Club is important to a business. They understand that in order to achieve Success Club, it means you have a business. You're bringing people into your network that are engaging with our fitness programs and Shakeology or our business. Number 2, every month you're bringing in coaches, whether it's 1 or 50. I don't care. Recruiting has to be one of your vital behaviors as a coach that is growing a business that wants to be called a leader. You host challenge groups every month. You do your business hours. You understand the compensation plan and the leadership ladder. Don't be afraid of the compensation plan and the leadership ladder. It is how we make money. It is how this business becomes a business. I remember the day that I finally sat down and said, you know what, let me understand how to earn team cycle bonuses and let me understand the leadership ladder when it was brought out at Leadership a few years ago. When I did that, I wanted more of it. I wanted to rank up in the leadership ladder. I wanted to earn more team cycle bonus, and I figured out how to do that. So you as a leader and want to be called a leader, you need to know these things. It is your business to know how you earn an income through our compensation plan. And then you learn and implement basic coach placement strategies, that you know how to place coaches in your organization, that you understand right leg, left leg, and all that comes with that. You have a CEO mindset. You're self-motivated and self-reliant. Leaders do not depend on other people to motivate them to work their business. Nobody, let's be real. I'm going to be raw because there's no purpose in me sugarcoating anything. Nobody has ever had to motivate me to get up and work my business. Not one single person, not my sister, not Jason, not Kim, not Craig, not Jeff Hill, not Carl has ever had to call me and say, Kristina, you're at Success Club 4. Can you hit Success Club 6 this month? Not one time has that ever had to happen because I get up and I love this business and I have a CEO mindset. I remember the day that Monica Gray stood up at Summit and said she's earned $1 million with this business. And I said, well, I'm going to earn $1 million with this business, but I'm not going to do that with an employee mindset. I'm going to do that because I'm the boss. And that's the mindset that you need to have in order to be a leader and considered a leader in this. You do that by belief. You do that by personal development. You do that by doing. You engage with your team and Team Beachbody. You are present on your team page. You are, doing all the things that a leader does on a team page. You show up every single day. You attend events. You cannot call yourself a leader if you're not going to Super Saturday, or you're not going to Summit, or you're not attending all the events you qualify for. Events, if you've read GoPro, number one way of sharing this business is events. They're powerful. It's what changed my life in this business. Attending my first Super Saturday opened my eyes to this, and I know how powerful they can be. A leader shows up to every single event. You invest in your business, that could be plane tickets to Summit, investing in personal development seminars, investing in personal development books and audio, investing in wear and share. You actually spend money. One of my favorite sayings that we don't tend to use a lot in Beachbody, we got to spend money to make money, right? Like, in order to have a business, there has to be some expenses associated with it besides your fitness program and Shakeology. And, a lot of times we cheapen the opportunity because it only costs $40 to sign up. I will tell you that is a horrible mindset to have, and it's not a CEO mindset, right? You need to invest in your business. You need to invest in trainings that are going to help your business. You need to invest in wear and share. You need to invest in those plane tickets and hotel rooms for events all over the country. And then in this concept of leading yourself, you establish boundaries with the business. This was one I've always struggled with because I literally can work this business 24 hours a day. And I'm sure a lot of people probably feel that way. But remember, Beachbody is supposed to give you life, not be your life. So set boundaries for your business hours. Tell your team what your business hours. Don't be afraid to tell someone I'm with my son right now, like I did, and say, I'm sorry, but he's here and I have to pay attention to him. I'll get back to you in an hour or something like that. Whatever it is, set boundaries for your business. And then you always schedule non-negotiable personal time and family time, and make time for your own health and fitness. That is absolutely important. So now let's talk about leading your team, right? So you've established a solid first layer in leading yourself. Now we can move on to the second layer. And remember, they build on each other. They don't replace each other. In order to be called a leader and have leadership qualities in a Team Beachbody business, you have to have all three. So we're talking now about leading your team and your organization. And the very, very, very amazing John Maxwell says, leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. I love, love, love that quote. All right, let's move on. What do leaders that lead their team do? They create systems and have a team calendar. And it's funny because I didn't even have this until I think my third or fourth, it was actually my last year's summit when I had to present on leadership, and we came up with this presentation and all these amazing leaders were like, yeah, I have a calendar and I have this. And I'm like, wow, I don't have that. And I'll tell you that it's been a life-changing thing to have with my team, is to have a calendar when we lay out everything that's going to happen in the upcoming month. And we have systems. And that word systems tends to overwhelm people. They're like, what does that mean? What is that term system? That just means you have a training program that your team follows, that you have challenge group formats that you follow, and it's something that you can pass on to your team. Host monthly team trainings, that's a given as you bring on new coaches to your team and your team brings on new coaches to the team, that you're giving them an opportunity to grow in a team training. That you host GSR with your new coaches, this is non-negotiable. I know it's so much easier not to do it, but if you want to grow a business, you better help your coaches grow their business, right? And it starts with this GSR. You're hosting team calls. Yeah, I'm telling you, you have to develop the skill of communication, right? This is important in this kind of business. In speaking to customers and speaking to your coaches and speaking to other coaches and trying to motivate them, it's important to start somewhere. And I remember my first call, it was horrible and nobody showed up. But I kept on and I kept on and I kept on until I became good at it. And then and I'm not perfect, but at least I try. And every week I'm on the phone somehow honing my communication skills through team calls. And of course, you create opportunities for your team to grow and get results. Every month, I host sneak peeks into Beachbody coaching, whether it's a 1-day or a 3-day. I also do business opportunity calls, which are important. These are things that your coaches who are newer to the business and not as established can plug their prospective customers into. You are giving them an opportunity to grow their business by you stepping up to the plate. And then you incentivize positive behaviors. I do prizes for Success Club. We'll do things like that just to motivate coaches to get their businesses moving. You are the one that creates a recruiting and Success Club culture on your team. That means, you do your Success Club shout outs. You do all those things that motivate coaches to act, right? Because we love recognition. So you are always looking as a leader on ways to recognize coaches, whether it's someone that has hit Success Club or maybe someone that is working towards it and maybe posted something great on social media. You recognize that. I know on my team, we do Success Club shout outs all the time. We also do Fitness Friday, and we'll recognize a coach that has really stepped up the game with their fitness. Find different and fun ways to get people motivated to act in their business. Now, as a leader of a team or an organization, you know how to teach the compensation plan and coach placement. Yeah, you are able to get on the phone with someone and say, this is how we earn an income. And you also know how to teach them how to place coaches so that they can rank advance, right? That it just comes out, that you don't have to say, let me Google that. You just do it. And you know how to teach it. And that you yourself, you know how to maximize your own income, right? Through advanced placement strategies. That you know that you could place a coach on the inside leg of your spouse's account or the inside leg of your second business center to, double your income that way. And if you're probably confused by that because you're a newer coach, there's plenty of videos on those strategies. That's a call for a whole nother day. But you also work with those that are matching your energy and not depleting it. As a newer leader, this is something that's very hard to grasp, but you cannot spend time trying to motivate someone that doesn't want to be motivated to do this business or even in their fitness. You have to spend your time mentoring the ones that want to be mentored, not babysitting the ones that aren't showing up. You use the 80-20 rule. You spend 80% of your time with the 20% that are working, not vice versa, right? You have to be in sync with your coaches that are matching your energy, not depleting it. And then this one really changed my business is knowing your coaches' why and motivations. Talk to them. What do they want? And don't be afraid to remind them when they fall off track. You told me that you wanted to send your kids to summer camp. That means you have to start hitting Success Hub. You have to start recruiting because you're not going to be able to earn that income by not doing anything, right? And remind them tactfully about why they joined Team Beachbody so that they could get moving. So you are in the know. You know what's going on, right? You read the breaking coach news. You see the posts from Carl and Jeff Hill and Michael Neiman and Craig and all of our, yeah, babe.
You cleaned all the rice.
Yes, I'll go now. Go that way, okay? I'll clean it now. You are in the know and you understand what's happening with Team Beachbody. When the new products are launching, you're the one on the forefront, getting your team psyched about that. Now, you not only attend events, but you rally your team to attend events. So you're not the only one at Summit or on the Success Club trips or at Leadership or at the NLC. You are pushing your coaches and you're able to verbalize, to talk to them and share with them why it's so important to attend events. You understand deadlines, when bonus time comes around, recognition time comes around. I mean, do you guys know that the leadership deadline is coming up? You have to be a paid 5-star between July 1st and July 31st in order to go to leadership. Like those things just roll off my tongue because I'm in the know. I know because I need to share my team because I don't want to be alone at leadership. I want my team to be at leadership with me. So you have to know that in order to show that, in order to teach that. And then you seek out, you understand Elite and Premier. We don't have to go through that because There's so many great calls out there from even from the Southeast region on a Leader in Premier, and you know how to get those points. You know what that recognition means, and you seek out leaders in your downline. This one's important. I learned this at my first leadership. Darren Hardy was there, and he did this whole presentation on, you know, you're a 10, right? You act at a 10. You're a leader. You're a diamond, star diamond coach, and then one of your coaches sponsors someone that is a 10. You need to seek out that person and mentor them, right? Because everybody that works in your downline, you should know who they are, and you should at least be checking in with them quite often so that you can help them progress in their business. Oh, this is like my favorite topic, and we could have totally a call on this on its own, but I would just say, don't drown. Don't turn into a puddle when, you know, something bad happens. Don't fall apart if someone tells you no. A leader controls their emotional state and mindset. I mean, this is a business, guys. There's ups and downs. Like Macy's doesn't shut down, or Apple doesn't shut down if someone returns an iPhone, or you gotta control that, because this is a business. The first 2 coaches I signed quit. I say this all the time. The first bag of Shakeology was returned. I mean, if I would have stopped back then, just think of what would have happened. You got to learn how to move past it. There are seasons of growth, and there's seasons of valleys in this business. Know that, because if you don't understand that and you turn into a puddle when November comes around and nobody wants to get fit in November, you'll be around in January reaping the benefits of what happens at that time of the year if you didn't give up. You understand trends and the issues associated with our business. I mean, I just covered that. There's peaks and valleys, there's ups and downs, there's harvests and there's droughts, just like in any other business. If you've been around, look back at your volume so you can see when the spikes are and when the valleys are. They are there. They're there. So understand that will happen, and it will continue to happen. Don't give up just because, times tend to slow down at certain points of the year. And then you know how to manage expectations, and why it's important to manage expectations so that coaches don't start quitting because you haven't shared that with them, right? All right, guys, May's going to be a little bit harder than it was in April. We got to buckle down. We got to start doing free groups. We got to start expanding our networks, because now's the time to start doing that so that we don't have troubles hitting Success Club in May. And you're perceived as a leader amongst your peers, and you're proactive versus reactive, right? You're always on the forefront. If you want your team to succeed, you got to act before something happens instead of waiting for it to happen. Like that's like, for example, the 21-day fix goes on sale, but you didn't really mention it to your team until after it went on sale. No, the 21-day fix is coming on sale a month before. We're hosting calls about the 21-day fix going on sale, and we're pumping it up, and everybody's going to do it, and challenge groups. That's what a leader does. They stay on the forefront of the issues, not on the back end. All right, and then this one's the more difficult one. It takes time to get to a place where you're leading the leaders. But I love this quote: a leader is one who sees more than others see, who sees farther than others see, and who sees before others see. A leader of leaders, when you get to this point, you have a clear vision of what you want with this business. You want 10,000 coaches on your team. You want your volume to hit a certain amount. You know what your life looks like. You know what your coaches' lives look like. It is so clear that there's no doubt it will be accomplished. A leader of leader has that kind of vision. Just yesterday, Lindsay Matway hit Superstar 4 in her 4th business center. If I go back in time to when she first hit Superstar in her 1st business center, she said, I will have 25 business centers at 15 star. She has a clear vision, and she's executing on that vision. It's insane. But leaders that are at that level, that are leading the leaders, they can see those things, and they work toward them each and every single day. You establish team culture. This is one of my favorite things about this business, is that you can create whatever culture you want for your team, right? Like my team, our team is a very family-oriented, fun culture. Like if you see us on the Success Club trips, you're like, whoop, there's Diesel Nation, because we're loud, we're having fun, we're dancing. That's our culture. my sister and I thrive in a fun environment like that, and that's the way we want our team to be. It's very family oriented, and we love it that way. And you get to decide what the culture of your team is. A leader generates momentum. They see the drops in momentum and they act on them. Just like I just said, in February, I already knew May was going to be hard. So we start, talking to our team, pumping them up. Like, you got to keep going. We start in March or April, talking about mindset. And if you ask any one of my leaders that are on this call, the only thing that I have talked about for the last 6 weeks has been mindset and toughening your mindset. Why? Because I need my teams to get through the month of May, right? So that's what a leader of leaders does. You create opportunities for leaders to grow. You are the ethical and moral compass of the team. You always do what's right. As a leader of leaders, you have to do what's right because people are following your lead. Remember that. Reputation is everything. And if you want people to follow you, you have to act ethically and morally because your coaches are going to do what you do. If you sign the coach by stealing them from another coach, guess what that coach is going to do? They're going to think that's okay. And then they're going to do that and teach their team to do that. But if you say, no, you have to go back to your coach, then that's the behavior that coach is going to learn. You understand the big picture, that this is so much more than Shakeology and fitness programs. Like, we are changing lives. We are on a big, big picture mission with Carl. You're an influencer and you can influence action. You invest in people, right? You see all these retreats going on. There's a reason for that. That's investment in people. That's an investment in the success of other people. Next week, I'm going to Boston for Liz Hartley's retreat. The week after that, we're hosting our retreat in Key Largo. And it doesn't have to be an expensive retreat. It can be dinner. It can be coffee. That's an investment in a coach. You make tough decisions. Jeff Hill once told me, Kristina, you're going to have to make decisions that other teams might be doing. You're going to have to decide on your own whether it's good for your team. And that has been what an important lesson he gave me early on. Because, some teams, they do big trainings. Our team thrives in trainings that we lead. And I understood that, right? So you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. A leader does what is important for their team and how their team will react to it. You know when and how to implement new trainings. Then you earn the respect of the team, other leaders, and corporate through your actions. It goes in line with acting with respect, acting morally and ethically. You go above and beyond for the good of the team and the network. So this one, one example of this is being a guest on other people's team calls. And this could be at any level, right? Diamond, Star Diamond, even some, Powerhouse Emeralds. Get on other people's team calls and be the guest speaker. Why? Because it becomes a community of camaraderie. And then you can ask that coach to speak on your team call. So I'm always speaking on other team calls because I know that our team needs to hear from other coaches in the network too, and I can ask them to then come on board and speak on our call. So I go above and beyond for the good of my team, and my leaders do the same. And then when issues are important or simply a cost of doing business. When customer service problems start occurring or there's some shipping delays or shipping issues, I don't turn into a puddle. I understand that because we have such a big rapid growth pattern, there are going to be periods that are going to be tough. I don't fly off a handle. I don't call Carl and start bitching at him. You have to take a deep breath and you have to say, is this appropriate for me to do? Is it appropriate for me to get on the VIP page or this page or that page and fly off the handle? Or is this just something that we're going to have to deal with as the network grows and act appropriately and just keep growing my business? Or is it something that's important that needs to be addressed? All right, and I'll stop here. I don't think that one time I mentioned a few words during my call. Number one, I never said the word rank because leadership is not determined by your rank. To me, leadership is determined by your actions, not your income, not your rank, not anything else but your actions. And I hope that, I'm going to stop share. I hope that now you understand, like when I say what I did to get to where I did, it was all these things. It was as simple as this presentation was, and I'll post the image of all the layers. It's kind of like a checklist for you and for your team. But in order to be a leader, it has nothing to do with what rank you are. It has nothing to do with what your income level is. It is all determined by your actions. Without being focused entirely on the first layer of this presentation of my 3 layers of leadership, it is very hard to move on to the next ones. So if you can sit down and look at that first layer and say, okay, I have a gap here. I'm not hitting Success Club, or I'm not recruiting, then that's where you stay until you master that activity. It's funny. It sometimes takes some people kind of like this, like momentum with Success Club. But once you get into that 4 months, 5 months, 6 months in a row, like I see Rolly, one of my coaches, nodding his head, like you just know it's going to happen, right? So people are scared of Success Club. They're like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do that again. Going on like 63 months now of Success Club, like you just make it happen. You got to get into that habit. And if you can teach your coaches how to do that, after that 5 month, 6 month mark, the road to All-Star and the road to Legend just becomes that much easier, right? So they have to focus on that in order to move on to the other layers. It is critically important. I said it on the National Wake Up Call the other day, that without that, you don't have a business. So if you're looking at the layers, highlight the ones that you have trouble with, the ones that you can right now, today, start taking actions to correct. I promise you that if you do all these things, that you're going to be leading leaders, you're going to have an amazing business, you're going to have an organization of coaches that are productive and hitting their goals in no time, right? In no time can be a year, 2 years, 3 years, but man, isn't this the coolest job in the world? So I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. So I hope this was helpful for you. Craig, I don't know if you want to open it up to some questions or whatever you want to do.
Kristina, first of all, as always, home run. Thank you so much. This information could not be more valuable. And again, you guys, I want you to recognize that even though this is coming from Kristina, who's been in the business a long time, she's a superstar diamond, has a large organization, that every aspect of this is something that you can apply to your business, no matter how big or small. So, it is for everyone. Don't put leadership on the back burner. There was a question that came in. I don't know if it came up on the big chat, but it came to me privately. How do you go about bringing up a coach's why when they give up when having a tough time without? Okay, yeah. How do you bring up their why when they give up when having a tough time without being like overbearing?
Well, you just have to get on the call and get them back to the place where they were when they signed up and how they felt when they signed up. You're not going to be able to save everyone, and I think that's important to note. But if you can get someone on the phone and say, do you remember how you felt the day you became a coach? Or do you remember the day that, you messaged me that you lost 10 pounds? Or do you remember that? And do you remember when you told me that you wanted XYZ? Like, why don't we get back there? Let's start slow. Let's dig it. Read this book. I'm going to buy you this book because that gives, you're investing in them. And so you're putting skin in the game for them, right? And a book can cost you $6, $10, whatever. And, let's have a call in a week and see how you feel. Like, so many people are quick to quit. And one of my coaches, Monica, said this the other day, and I loved it. She said, don't be quick to quit on a bad day when you've had 30 good ones. And so remind people of that. Because people on a bad day or in a bad month, they're like, you know what, forget this. But they forgot that 2 months ago, they earned $300, $400 by starting a challenge group. And they were able to block. That's one of the things that we were talking about amongst some of the leaders, was that we tend to oversimplify the business in order to recruit. Oh, it's so easy. It's not. This business is not easy. No business is easy. No business that can earn you $1 million is easy. So why are we doing that? We got to toughen our new coaches up from the get-go. You have to be honest with them and say, hey, you might have some success with your warm market, but get ready for that month 4 when that cold market starts drying off. We got to start planning for that, right? So that there's a drastic drop-off with success starters after the 3rd month, where on month 4, they're not hitting success. Why is that? Because it came easy to them months 1 through 3, then the cold market sits in and they haven't done the work to get there. And then they're like, oh, I'm done. This is hard, right? So let's toughen up our new coaches from the get-go instead of waiting till it's too late. Does that make sense? You're muted. You're muted.
That got it. That is perfect. And that goes for all of us. There's probably many on that call that are in that perhaps 3 to 4 month phase, or have had a hard time keeping, their network, growing to be able to get people onto Challenge Pack. So what do you tell a coach, Kristina, that maybe is, going through a slow part right now, has seen some okay success during the beginning months of their business, and now the recruiting is slowing down? How do you weather them through that transition between their warm market to where they're now starting to need to dive more into the cold market, or into maybe contacts that aren't just friends and family?
Yeah, I mean, the free groups, I think that's critical, that in addition to teaching our coaches about, hit success up, start a challenge group with the 21-day fix, or that they're also doing free groups. Danielle McKean, one of my elite leaders, has this real great presentation on the customer funnel and how she has been incredibly successful funneling people through free groups and then moving them into challenge groups. If we get into that habit now, and free groups can come in every freaking form. I mean, I'm doing a crockpot group right now that's great. Butt, arms, abs, I mean, you name it. Anything that you can get people together under one roof and provide value to them, eventually they will see the value as having you as a coach and move into a challenge group. And it's a system, right? It's not something that you have a free group and then everybody becomes a coach. Like, no, it's a way of gathering people. And that's what we need to become. We need to become people gatherers, not Success Club point gatherers. We need to become people gatherers, because those people eventually may become challengers and coaches down the line when you have shown them value. If you don't show them value, then it's very hard to get out of the warm market. It's going to be very hard to transition into the cold market if you haven't done the work giving them value, right? Because your warm market, you might be the poopiest coach in the world. My husband's coming in now. This is really awesome. You might, your warm market just might buy from you because they're your warm market and they know you, right? He made he threw rice on the floor. So if you don't, so that might become easy to you, but we need to get better at having our new coaches start these free groups, learn how to add value, learn how to create a meal plan so that they could give to their customers, and how to host these free groups moving forward, so that when they do transition out of the warm market, it's smoother than them hitting a wall, right? Because that's what it feels like. It's like you run into a wall. All right, so that's that. And I know someone asked about.
I love that. And can I just build on that, guys? I'm a firm believer that if you are always actively engaged in vital behavior number 2, which is being proof the product works, meaning that you are doing a program, not just like, hey, I lost my weight, now I'm maintaining and now I'm doing whatever, but if you are doing a program with a meal plan and always engaged in that vital behavior, it creates natural conversations that you don't have to manufacture. People are going to ask. People are going to see when they see your, as you share your life, when you are in a program, discipline within that program, those conversations and the ability to reach out to people and people reaching out to you comes very naturally. So
yep, that's a great point.
Always lean into that vital behavior number 2. All right, Kristina, did you see another question you wanted to hit before we wrap up here? We're leaning on 50 minutes here, so you can wrap up after this if you'd like.
Yeah, just this last one. Carolyn says, would you say April, May, November, December are the two toughest parts of the year? I will say that this is not scientific, but based on my experience over the last almost 6 years, and August will be my 6-year anniversary. I call it the harvest and then the drought periods, right? And I just went through this with some of my coaches on my team. But the harvest periods are January through April, and then May is a drought period. So you might have a team right now that is kind of struggling, right? You don't have as many Success Club hitters. Maybe you're a little bit tight with Success Club points. Last month I was like at 32 Success Club points. I just hit 14. Like I've had to freaking work for those 14 points, and I've seen it through my coaches, right? There's some coaches that are at SC4 when usually they're at 10 already. So I know that May traditionally is a tougher month. That's why I said in my presentation, you got to be priming people so that when May comes around, they just don't throw in the towel when they get a bunch of no's. It is what it is. Kids are going out of school. Money is going into vacation plans. There's a lot of things going on in May. You got to be prepared for it and just get through it. June, July, and August, because this year I will say August will be a harvest month just because Summit ends at the end of June. The end of July. So June, July, and August are harvest months when energy is real high heading into Summit and then after Summit. And then you come into some drought periods at the end of the year with September, October, November, December. September tends to be okay, but then October, November, December with the holidays are not as, you're not going to have like people coming out of the woodworks. You're going to have to work for it. If I go back traditionally through my Success Club points, in November and December, Success Club 10 is non-negotiable for me. I'm always at the lower end. I'm always at 12, 10, 14, but in other months, it's 20 something, so you see the trend. And you guys know I work, right? It's not like I just sit back and sip margaritas all day. Like I work, and I have to work double time on the months when I consider them to be drought months. I don't stop my work. I continue my work. But that's the way I kind of seen the pattern in our business. If that's helpful, I think you need to share that, because many coaches tend to give up when times get a little bit harder. And that's really when we need to double up and we need to really step our foot on the gas. And then not only are you still hitting Success Club, but all that work that you're doing during the tough months, man, do you start reaping those benefits in the harvest? Yes?
Yeah,
okay.
I love that, Kristina. I would just say to that, and we see that network wide, right? And so I think you hit on the head. Like if you, as a business person, and this is a business, when you're making money, it's a business. If you expect that, then having the expectations can help take some of the sting out of it. The other thing that I would even call it is you have your harvest months and then you have your seeding months.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like she said, you're working just as hard or harder, for what you get. You're not going to harvest as much fruit, but you are seeding like crazy so that you can harvest later. So anyway, guys, this has been phenomenal. Kristina, thank you so much for your time and for your wisdom. Thank you to everyone who's on the call today for the questions that were asked. We've accomplished a lot. I will get this uploaded, get a link out across our region social media pages. Kristina, thank you so much, and everyone have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye, everybody.